Good morning, Bitcoins! Today is Friday, September 5th, 2014, and here are today's Mad Bits. Bitcoin prices are still up slightly. There was a large spike to 497, considering that happy days may be here again. We then had some profit taking, another round of profit taking, some small wigglies, and this morning we had a bit of a run down to 477, but it seems to be buying back right now, and Bitcoin prices may be going up again. But then again, no one really knows. Moving on. Did you know you can donate Bitcoins to Mad Bitcoins if you like the show? Donate now with the QR code on your screen. Don't like Bitcoins? Would prefer to subscribe monthly with your credit card? Subscribe for whatever you'd like at patreon.com. That's patron with an E /MadBitcoins. You can also buy yourself a shout out or a sponsorship on the Mad Bitcoin Show. Just donate $25 in Bitcoin to the QR code on this page. Then fill out the easy-to-use form below and claim your sponsorship or shout-out. Remember, sponsorships are subject to review of advertising content. Do not donate Bitcoins if your advertisement is a scam, negative, inappropriate, etc. We'll be starting those on Monday when we go back to a more regular schedule. And now, the news. Litecoin is at $4.96. Bitcoin entrepreneur pleads guilty to Silk Road charges. Charlie Shrem is on the road to freedom. It might cost him $950,000 and other things because of the plea, but he won't have to go to jail. Congratulations, Mr. Shrem. Once again, the American system of justice is almost entirely based on plea bargaining, so look for more of this in the future. Mobile payments will be the defining feature of the iPhone 6. This really shows you how Apple has lost their way. Take something. How Apple has lost their way. A new feature of the iPhone 6 is a feature that I already have on my iPhone 4. That doesn't make any sense. I can already send mobile payments with the blockchain app, the Coinbase app, Fivo Wallet, or any other Bitcoin program. Why do I need a new phone to do something I can already do? That doesn't make any sense. Apple is also planning to release the iWatch. Here's a rumored possible photo. Looks more like an iCuff. Very futuristic, at least in this photo. We'll see what actually happens, but it could be a very cool system. Obviously, Apple's attempted to link it to the fitness apps, as you can see, the health apps, as you can see, and there's a good chance they'll use it in their payment system, so you could just slide your cuff over the payment surface, which is futuristic, but not as futuristic as scanning a QR code that already works on existing hardware. Even old phones or the new Mozilla $29 smartphone can scan a QR code. We don't need near-field communication for our payments. It's ridiculous. Apple's iWallet payment seems unlikely to earn much money, but will lock users into the iPhone ecosystem. The rumor of the Apple iWallet is that certain credit cards will be allowed to be added to your phone. Then Apple will receive a 0.5% on each purchase with those credit cards. So much like the Apple App Store, the iWallet could be a potential gold mine for Apple if people start using it for their mobile payments. It's also seen that the iWallet will be added to the App Store. So when you buy something on the App Store, it's most likely that you'll be paying the App Store part that usually would go to the developer. You'll be paying that cut to Apple, and you'll be paying a cut for using iWallet. So once again, from a business perspective, it seems like a really good idea. Like they're going to get a lot of cuts of percentages for payments for items that they're not providing. So once again, more middlemen. More middlemen. Bitcoin, Yawn, CheapAir is now taking Litecoin and Dogecoin. Way to go, CheapAir. MIT, Coop, i.e. the bookstore, is going to accept Bitcoin payments. I'm not sure if I have the tweet here, but there was a tweet earlier this morning where someone already bought a hat with Bitcoin. So it is confirmed. MIT is leading the way to Bitcoin adoption. Students there will be soon given $100 in Bitcoin, which they could now use at the campus bookstore to buy books. Entire population in Caribbean country, Dominica, receiving free Bitcoins, i.e. $10, in early 2015. Let the bit drop. Let the bit drop. The Caribbean party organized by Bitcoin beauties is also going to give $10 in Bitcoin to every person in the Caribbean nation, Dominica. They plan to distribute the Bitcoin via text message using Coinapult, also a sponsor of the Let the Bit Drop program. Everyone in the country will receive a text message that'll probably seem like spam, offering them $10 in Bitcoin if they follow the link. Those who follow the link will be set up with a system similar to M-Pesa, a Coinapult SMS wallet that will allow them to send their Bitcoins back and forth. They then could go to the concert, visit the vendors at the concert, and purchase beer and concessions and other items at the concert. This could cause the entire country to go Bitcoin as they start sending it back and forth between each other. Maybe you could do errands or chores for a friend and earn some of their Bitcoin. Perhaps enterprising Dominicans will attempt to corner the market on Bitcoin. Why not be the guy who earns everyone else's Bitcoin and then suddenly have a large pile of Bitcoin, an investment for the future? Perhaps. BitGive is officially a 501c3, an official charity from the IRS. This happened while we're on vacation, so there's already been a lot of articles written about it in Nonprofit Times Magazine, The Chronicle of Philanthropy, CoinDesk, Upstart Business Journal, Sacramento Business Journal, In the Capital, TBI's Daily Bit, Cointelegraph, and the Women's Annex Foundation. But we'd just like to join these articles and congratulate BitGive on their successful 501c3 application. They are now the #1 and most official charity in the Bitcoin space. Andreas climbs the blockchain ladder. Andreas Antonopoulos has been promoted in the blockchain from Chief Security Officer to a member of the board. Congratulations, Andreas. And remember, Cointelegraph, he's not just a regular guest on Let's Talk Bitcoin. He's also on the Bitcoin group. And he's been on the MadBitcoin show a couple of times too. Bitcoin, the cryptographic-based currency, continues to rely on banks for security, said Forbes with their misleading and ridiculous headline. It's actually a story about a robbery. A family was robbed, and of course, the thieves took the safe, which is again why safes are inherently unsafe, ironically even. The safe contained their Bitcoin addresses, but they had a backup copy in a safe deposit box at a bank. Of course, banks are conveniently not open 24/7, so the family wasn't able to access their accounts until the next day, giving the robber a chance to capitalize on his Bitcoins. Of course, the robber thought he just had a safe, doesn't know anything about Bitcoins, and doesn't know that the family can take the money out of the wallets that are in the safe, which they did. So they didn't really rely on the bank for security. They relied on the safe deposit box system, which actually is a very old service that might even predate banks. It still seems like it'll post-date them too. OpenBazaar, the untouchable online market, inches closer to game time. Congratulations, great job OpenBazaar guys. I had the pleasure of hanging out with them at Bitcoin in the Beltway. Great gentlemen. And I look forward to the release of OpenBazaar. As many of you know, OpenBazaar was based on, I forget what it was called Open Market or Silk Market? I don't know, had not a great name, and they took this as a more generic name to have an open market where anyone could buy and sell anything, much like the Silk Road. But you wouldn't necessarily have to sell drugs. You could sell t-shirts and stickers and hats and things. The main thing is that we don't need a middleman. We don't need someone like eBay to take a cut of every transaction and set up the auction network. Thanks to BitTorrent, thanks to Bitcoin, we can now have a decentralized, distributed, open market. And that's what many of us hope that OpenBazaar will be. So we're keeping an eye on this project and look forward to the actual official release. Google analysts Bitcoin could be the internet of money. You're damn right. And Google better wake up to this and stop charging ridiculous fees on their YouTube tipping system just because they haven't woken up to Bitcoin. Twitch TV, which was almost bought by Bitcoin, almost bought by Google, but instead bought by Amazon.com, is now accepting Bitcoin. Maybe Amazon will accept it next. Indonesians can now buy Bitcoin at over 10,000 INDOMARET stores. More and more Bitcoin continues to go global, with first Mexico and Padmobile accepting Bitcoin in 7-Elevens, and now Indonesia and INDOMARET stores accepting Bitcoin almost everywhere. Why new forms of spam could bloat Bitcoin's blockchain. When you have a decentralized ledger like Bitcoin, people are always putting extra stuff in it, whether it's Valentine's Day messages or just the average line of text here and there. Many are worried that this could bloat Bitcoin's blockchain as spammers take to Bitcoin and send messages for a very small amount, clogging the chain. There's also worried about projects like Counterparty and Mastercoin, which previously used the Bitcoin distributed database for their own purposes in what many thought was very spammy. Some of them have changed their practices, some of them still use the Bitcoin blockchain. Story developing. Bitcoin price seems to be an established uptrend. Well, I certainly hope so. Looking back at the price right now, we've still had the morning's drop to 477, but we seem to be recovering nicely into 480. Previously, yesterday, we had the spike all the way to 497. Will that uptrend continue? No one knows, but CryptoCoin News suggests yes. Bitfury Capital invests in bit security specialist BitGo. More mergers and acquisitions as Bitfury is investing in BitGo. It's not quite a merger yet, but it's continued growth for BitGo. BitGo, as we've talked about before, does multi-signature wallets, which again, as we branch away from just Bitcoin the currency, we're going to go towards multi-sig. We're going to go towards Bitcoin 2.0, Ethereum, other projects like that, and things are going to get much, much more complicated. Meanwhile, Losky and his crew still sit on the side trying to regulate this unregulatable and constantly changing business. It's impossible. Canadian employees increasingly preferring bitcoins over dollars. A new payroll company in Canada implemented their Bitcoin payment option in November 2013, and WagePoint says a growing number of Canadian workers are accepting Bitcoin for their pay. Excellent work, WagePoint. Glad to hear it, Canada. Coin Outlet enters Bitcoin ATM market with, well, low cost. We'll put that in quotes because the skyhook still exists, guys. I know CoinDesk, you don't mention the skyhook in your article, but the skyhook is $1,000 and this thing's $8,000. So it's not really low cost. But Coin Outlet's very cool. I had the good fortune of using one of them at the Bitcoin in the Beltway convention, and it just so happened that CoinDesk used my picture as their thumbnail for the article. So look at that right there. A man in a strikingly excellent suit coat wearing a charmingly beautiful hat and getting ready to pay right there, buying a Bitcoin. That's, of course, the thumbnail from this video. MadBitcoins uses a Coin Outlet ATM. Thanks, Coinbase, I guess. Chamber of Digital Commerce receives large donation from Overstock.com's Promote Bitcoin program. Impressive work for the very young and poorly named CDC, not Center for Disease Control, but Chamber of Digital Commerce. Again, just incredible name, and of all the people you'd want to pick, the Center for Disease Control. Viral, killer diseases like Ebola spreading all over the world, and that's the connection that you want people to make in your mind. But we'll put that to the side and talk about the donation. Overstock.com has pledged to spend 4% of its Bitcoin revenue on increasing adoption for the digital currency. And I, for one, would like to suggest that Overstock.com donate some of this revenue to the World Crypto Network. The World Crypto Network. This is where you and everyone you know can get a show talking about Bitcoin. Or you could just join a show, or you could call in, or join one of our live chats or our live town halls where we discuss what we want to do next. We have a variety of people making shows and a variety of people helping out, making new shows, new ideas. All kinds of things are happening at worldcryptonetwork.com. And we really could use some VC help or Overstock.com help or anything to keep this thing going. We're really trying to do the future of media right here, and we don't have any advertisers, we don't have any money, and we'd like to change, well, one of those things if possible. So give us a try at worldcryptonetwork.com. Finally, our last story tonight, not really related to Bitcoin, but hackers use police spy tool to steal celebrity nude pictures. It turns out that the most probable way that the celebrity nude photos were stolen is that hackers obtained a backup of their iPhone. Then they took the backup offline and used programs usually designed for computer forensics and computer security to hack the offline backups. These programs allow you to download all of the photos on the phone with a single click from the backup once you've accessed it with a password. Another program allows you to continuously brute force Apple's passwords while you're offline. Perhaps Apple could have changed this. These programs are publicly available. They know that this could happen, and does happen to criminals' phones when the police are breaking them down. Maybe Apple could protect all of its customers from other criminals, not just the police. But that's neither here nor there, and is only related to Bitcoin because these photos were ransomed in Bitcoin, and they were sold in Bitcoin. People did try to buy them, and they did try to offer Bitcoin for them. There was also a kidnapping ransom, like pay us and we won't release them, which of course would be the stupidest thing in the world to pay. Everything gets released eventually. But until next time, which will be today at 3 p.m. for the Bitcoin group, this has been Mad Bitcoins. Mad Bitcoins. Mad Bitcoins. We'd also like to thank our 2 change tippers who sent us $1 each. There was 2 of you. I don't have the links in front of me, but change tips are always welcome and appropriate. We'd like to thank our Patreons, and we'd like to thank everyone else that we met on our week off in the desert. Anyone wants to purchase a shout-out or a sponsorship, you can donate $25, whatever it is right now in Bitcoin, to this link on your screen. Then fill out the form below to purchase your shout-out or sponsorship. More information available at madbitcoins.com. See, now normally I play music here, but the Google is very much against anyone playing any music. So I was just going to say, I was dreaming of the past, and my heart was beating fast. I began to lose control. I began to lose control.